You have a bunch of dumbass bitches on your guys' podcast, and I get it. They don't challenge you, and I know you're a really smart guy, but it's like, I feel like you need to kind of.
What's hilarious is that the majority of the women that you just degraded are your constituents. They're your followers. They're speaking the same verse as you.
That's a good point. That's a great point, actually.
So I'm just finding it odd that you would do that to your people. That is all.
I'm sorry. I just find it odd that you would do that to your people. In my James, what is my man's name from
James Earl Jones?
Yes. Do that to your people. I got you. That's so good.
Greetings and salutations to you all. This is the Umpteenth View. 'Tis I, Just Henry, the original, and this is my good cousin.
It's Wiz Wide in the Flesh. You thought I messed up, didn't you?
No, I was waiting on the pause. It was the dramatic effect that we were all waiting for.
I got you. It's Wiz Wise in the Flesh, good people. How y'all feeling out here? And today we got something magnificent for you all.
Yes,
Cue the Dracula.
Do. Oh my goodness, do we ever? So, in this
lovely juncture,
elongated journey that we are taking, continuous, if you will, we are always trying to find new ways to better ourselves, not only by self-reflection but also on looking at other people and what they do and say as well.
Progress happens through the conversations of talking to numerous persons. You learn a lot by yourself by listening to somebody else.
Exactly. So, on the grapevine, we heard a few things, and a video came across our lovely desks.
Would you say it was a necessary video? That's a fantastic question.
I will say, for entertainment value, yes, because it was a meeting that a lot of people were calling for. All right. Now, as far as the world as a whole, I'm gonna go ahead and say that we could have done without this interaction.
That's how bad it was.
It was interesting. Yikes. To say the least. To say the best, I don't know which way to. Nonetheless, we
ain't gonna hold you too long on the intro.
It's nothing much to say at first, other than grab your britches,
grab your britches,
buckle your boots, get ready for the ride. All right, Maestro.
We gotta do a disclaimer. Just Henry and I have seen the video, but I'm pretty sure a lot of the realm in which we dwell, the manosphere, seen the video. They probably is a lot of people that have been calling for it, but we have seen it, and we know how DJ Academics is. We know how Fresh and Fit is. So what you will not see is the actual video. You'll hear the audio, but
we'll put the link in the
description box. Definitely go give them love, because we owe it to them 100%. See the body language, because the audio only gets you so far.
Exactly.
But without further ado, let's jump into it.
Fresh's great idea was don't tell Myra until today. So we walk in, you first see Brittany Renner, and we're thinking you're probably gonna be like, okay, shit, we're gonna have this great debate. But you said initially, like, I don't think there's much to really debate. Why?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. We've always said it, like, men and women, we're very different. We have opposing goals. Like, girls are trying to, get resources, time, attention out of guys. Guys are trying to get sex. And girls, a lot of the time, are trying to get what they need to get out of dudes without necessarily giving it up. And some girls are good at it, some girls aren't. And then there's other girls that are kind of models for that are good at finessing dudes. And not to say that you're a finesser, I ain't saying that, but girls are able to,
Why
run
is
laps
he
on a lot of guys.
flattered?
And that's why our podcast exists, to help dudes out to understand like how women operate and how they move.
Now, you
So-
have a different point of view.
Wait. Where do you think she fits in that? Because I think her point of view would be diametrically opposed to you guys by saying, well,
Diametrically
I'm not the exact typical person who
Polar
you
opposites,
think
right?
to run into her.
I just like the word diametrically.
I mean, well, sure, she could tell. She
Hey.
was saying that we're wrong, I guess. About
Intelligent.
that.
Well,
so
I
you
want-
tell us a little bit about yourself.
No, I think you know more about me than I do myself. So you're saying
no.
obviously you do though, because you said that
She
you warn
started
guys about girls
off
like me. So tell me about girls like me.
Just
humor
women
me.
in general. Like, I mean,
Well,
there's
no, don't women in general, because you literally specifically said before we got on here that
Please.
you did say
I'm gonna pause it.
that you warn
pause it,
guys
I'm gonna
about
pause
girls
it.
like me. So now that we're face to face,
Alright. So off rip, why is this important? We've talked about improving the channel and bringing live hosts, guests to our establishment to improve the conversation. Off rip, if I were Myron, conversation done. There's no conversation. Off rip, she's offended.
Yeah.
So she's not. There's no debate here.
No.
It's a means of attack, an insult and insult. Now, granted, I don't like how Myron instigated it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Girls like you, right? That phrase for someone of her stature, like she has a reputation. Brittany Renner, you have a reputation, right? Girls like you is he's talking about women specifically like you and categorizing you. You took offense to that. There will be more, right? They'll try to defend his butt, and instead of saying, okay, I don't like this, let me take a minute as an adult, because I believe they're around the same age as I am.
Yes, I believe so.
And I'm not much younger than Just Henry, but the point being is we're adults and we're mature thinkers in a way where you know about, especially as you as an internet personality. Let me take a step back and let me try to do something productive here. Off rip, we're a minute into this.
Yeah.
This is already a no for me. No, heavens no. Would you like to add anything, or should I continue playing?
Okay, so in agreement with you, an agreement, I will say, she was ready to fight. Matter of fact, before that, she was literally flattered by his words. So she kind of then did her, moment and said he thinks he's got it figured out. I'm gonna show him exactly why I'm Brittany Renner. And I won't say Brittany Renner the person, I will say Brittany Renner the
Personality or character or caricature or however you want to paint yourself, shorty.
Hey,
However you want to paint yourself, young woman. I'm sorry.
the brand. We'll put it under that category. So she went into her little
Tirade.
little pocket of tricks and said, you know what? I'm not gonna be the aggressor. I'm gonna be the passive aggressor.
I was about to say that word definitely should fit.
All
She's
right.
passive aggressive as crap.
She said, well, you know me so well. You know me better than me. So let's go ahead and hear your depiction on who I am. Now, this is an actual negotiation tactic. This is a business tactic. This is I won't say scamming tactic. We'll keep it where we are. As in, matter of fact, it's a poker tactic. Let me see what you got.
Trying to call us bluff.
Let me see not even a call a bluff, because I want to see what you got.
Here's the
And so I can know what to say.
not to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Here's the contraposition to this, or as DJ Academic say diametrically opposes her claim. Right? It's
big one.
It's the difference between that. At the start of the show, they said we're gonna get Myron on here, but we're not gonna tell him who it is.
Yeah.
So now she's asking for a question as if he's researched her instead of just, I know briefly about Brittany Renner based off of the videos I've seen of her. But if you brought me in a situation where we're gonna have a sit down and I'm talking to you face to face, I'm gonna bring my fact checks. I guarantee Myron would have done that had he known it, but he probably didn't want to do it because he probably just knew how this was gonna turn out, so he didn't want to rock with it. Now, disclosure, I did listen to the full podcast. Only reason I presented this was that this is what generally people are talking about. This is what academics is selling. Quote unquote, Brittany Renner confronts Fresh and Fit. But do continue.
No, I do believe the play button is in order.
Okay, we're gonna let her rock.
Rock it home. No.
What kind of girl am I?
You're not special. You're like other girls. That's the key.
I'm not special.
Like,
so,
you're like other women that are
So
like,
what makes you special then?
I never said I was. But you're trying to say,
No,
what
you
makes me
never
different
did.
from, like, a lot of women operate the way you do. Which
And
is,
how do I operate?
in general, what I just said before, women, it's a dance between the two genders. Men are trying to get sex. Women are trying to get resources, time, attention, whatever it is that they're looking for. And a lot of girls play the game better than guys. We talk about this openly on our podcast, and we're teaching guys how to not necessarily get finesse and get what they want out of girls, which a lot of the times is intimacy, but they're not able to get it. But girls are easily able to obtain money, time, resource, attention, whatever it is. Girls are running laps around things, which is why podcasts like ours exist.
Do you believe that Brittany has been effective in extracting, as you say, time, resources, and other things out of dudes?
Yeah, to a degree,
Pause.
sure. Yeah, I mean, like, a lot.
Academic, bro. With all the love in my heart and respect for you and your game, your talent and your experience and everything, you should have at least wrote a question down or two before this happened, because that question was like, it seems as though you were fishing, like you were
Like that girl in Drake scenario.
digging in the trap. No, it seemed as though that it was. I want some controversy. I want some heat. I need to liven this up a little bit. Y'all are playing.
He instigating.
Nice. So let's go ahead and spruce it up, right?
I can't blame them for that though.
I can, because you could have done it a lot better.
Sure, there's always room for improvement, but I think he's trying to what's Don King? Is that what he trying to Don King this Mike Tyson back? Because she already started off. It's not no spoilers for you. It's not a debate. What it is an attack and a deflection of another attack. That's what it's not. It's not a conversation, so on and so forth.
She doesn't have conversations.
She doesn't address anything he said.
That's the trick to the game, is being able to respond without responding. Like, it's like answering without responding. It's like,
I just had a flash. My boy.
I was respectful and I didn't yell behind your question, though I didn't answer the question. And my response had nothing to do with it except the fact that I'm trying to redirect it to where I can figure out a way to win it. But hey, everybody's got their own game, you know what I mean?
You ever seen a fencing match, but it's a stalemate where they just flicking back and forth and they just move, no one gets stabbed? Yeah. That's what this is.
Well, yes.
You don't think so?
Mainly because of the level of I'm not gonna say lack of intellect or lack of capability or anything. It's just more along the lines of just in the heat of the moment, there's certain things that can actually be said to take advantage of a person's inequity in the moment. Like with Miss Renner, she was doing exactly what she needed to do to represent what she represents. Fresh, right? Myron, yeah.
Myron's fit. Fresh is the Barbados brother.
Got it. Thank you. Was kind of trying to. He does this thing where he responds by like it's almost like, I know what you're doing, and his mannerism was like, really? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to respond and kind of repeat himself. Me, I'm a firm believer in not repeating myself. I try my best not to. I'll rephrase, but I try my best not to repeat.
Not even that.
So, I'll give you a chance or two. And that's about it. Now, again, these gentlemen could have done a better job of responding. He could have come with facts and truth rather than, this is what we do. It's almost like a commercial he was trying to force down her throat. It was just like, come on. So I just find it amusing. This is entertainment. And whenever you're ready, you got something? I
got something, but I'm gonna try to let it play out so we can address most of it by the end.
Get her done.
That way y'all could see, because if you didn't know, you could be someone like myself, and I hope we attract people like myself, closet dwellers and cave dwellers that don't know too much. But
I'm in the library.
A lot of girls want to do. I mean, here's the thing. You've been so adamant about me being incorrect, and I don't know, and you don't know me, and all this other stuff. Tell me then. Maybe we're
another deflection.
Well, I think first of all, let's bring it back a couple notches. Mm-hmm. Okay. So there's really a lot to unpack here, because my first question to you is, what do you gain from telling girls that they're not special? How does that make you feel?
Deflection again.
First off, she said we're gonna dial it back, as though you're bringing on too much. You're coming in hot. And then this does she breathes real hard.
It's a character, man.
That's what I thought I was gonna say. It's not gonna work type of thing. It's just, let's try it. Let's dig in that bag of tricks again. Which trick am I gonna pull out? And of course, without an iota, not a glance in the direction of the answer to his query. Matter of fact, that wasn't even a query. It was an open invitation for you to.
He made a claim. To address the claim.
Say who you are as a person.
What does she do?
Mother, businesswoman, independent woman, whatever. But you chose to try and flip it back on him again, because guess what you're in? You're in battle mode. You're trying to win something, which is hilarious, because in your response to him, you could have won. Oh, Brittany, you could have painted yourself being the one in control of the strokes, painted a wonderful light on yourself. You could have done wonderfully. You could have been elegant in that moment. But here we are, throwing some more mess in the opposite direction. Don't we love it all? Here goes another magpie.
Magpie.
Do you love your magpie? It was like,
I mean, I know everything is a joke, but I'm asking you a real question. So how does it make you feel? Because if I say you're a bitch ass nigga, that does something for me.
Passive
Right?
aggressive.
If I insult you,
Immediate
let me
insults.
insult
Immediately, like, yep, let me degrade you. Let me jab at you. I'm ready to continue.
You know, remember we had the conversation, you was like, I don't like when people make a claim and then they say but, which goes against their claim.
Mm-hmm.
Hypotheticals that are offensive are offensive. Just because you make a if I'd said this about you.
No, actually,
it doesn't change anything.
You're trying to disguise yourself.
It's passive aggressive.
Actually saying it. So therefore, you're calling him that.
Exactly.
Which is terrible.
Exactly. Now, he never offended her.
In the midst of the moment that you are actually supposed to be edifying yourself. You're supposed to be putting yourself in the wonderful light. But you wanted to put him in the dark side. You wanted to shed light on his dark side. I get it. Bad play, bad form. But nonetheless, Michael,
I'm good.
Maestro, if you
or if I tell you you're not special, you're forgettable. What does that do for me? No, but that doesn't. But that's what I'm saying.
Pause it here. But this is brief. This is originally her claim. Her problem with him saying girls like you aren't special, right? He said I'm not special.
He's forgettable.
Her whole mood changed. So she's speaking at him about herself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I'm saying, what if I call you? If I just say that again, you're forgettable. That's why I didn't want to do you guys' podcast. Forgettable. Hate the setup. The name is underwhelming. I didn't really see the value in it. Right?
Okay,
that's how I feel. Right. But so that's fine.
His heart hurt.
But
like
for
that.
me, that's okay if it wasn't a fit for me.
Not at all.
But I also don't need to, in a way, kind of try to devalue what you guys have going on, because at the end of the day, I may not agree with anything you guys have. Because honestly, I feel like when you've seen 2 or 3 videos, you've seen them all. But the reality is that I went to your guys' page and I went to the different links and the different services and the courses that you guys offer, and I do see that there's a place for that. So even though it may not have been in alignment with what I am about, I can still give credit where it's due without trying to devalue you guys, because you guys are doing something special, right? Because you guys are, are there a lot of other people doing what you do? You could consider your guys' podcast special, right?
I think what she's mentioned is like the self-help portion for dudes, where you guys offer services to, help guys, either attract or try to talk.
I'm gonna pause it here again.
And
sure. This
is brief. At this point, it's clear that DJ Academics is trying to be the mediator, right? But not even the mediator. He's directing how these questions may be interpreted to the other side. Mm-hmm. He should be doing more of this in a controlled manner, because it seems like Brittany Renner is controlling the show. However, what she's doing, this little rant of, you guys are special, doesn't change the fact of what he originally said. Girls like you. If she said podcasters, manosphere like Fresh and Fit, as long as she's talking about the podcaster generally, what she's talking about at this point is irrelevant. He didn't address her as an individual. He classified her. That's the key word. She's trying to specify him and Fresh and Fit. He classified her. If she was making a claim to classify podcasters, then she's in the bounds of the context AO.
Right.
Anything you want to add?
AO.
Not the AO.
Smoothie with that stuff. Pardon me. Don't mind me. But nonetheless, I got nothing, man. It's just ruthless, man. It's just people that have no respect for another person.
100%.
Then at the same time, like,
she felt attacked immediately.
Nobody's there for like productivity. Like, it's just there for
this gonna garner people's attention, and we fell into it. Yeah.
And that's when she was jabbing at him like, hey, that's why I didn't go to you guys' podcast. I don't like the setup. But you like academic setup better. You didn't think theirs was good enough for you and your brand, but you think academics is good for your brand. Bet. By all means. Especially if you feel that you got some kind of leeway or ground with academic in his world, I guess. Whatever makes you feel good and empowered in the moment to speak your truth. Because that's what I want. I want the truth. I want to hear what you got. But regrettably, so far, I've heard nothing about you and your side. It's just you're taking the time to attack. But hey, who are you? We've yet to find out.
You can play?
Yes.
You really engage with them at a higher rate that you could, potentially date them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess the point that I think she's disagreeing with, right?
I'm simply asking her to tell us about herself because we were so incorrect. So tell us about yourself. That's all I'm saying. She went into attacking us. And
no one's attacking you because, like I said, I never listen. There's a lot of people that will not sit down and have a conversation with you just because of the comments that you guys made. Well, you made. And you chimed in, so you guys are Tweedledee and Tweedledum kind of, right? So I'm here to have a conversation with you guys.
Insult again.
Because for me, I feel like what a lot of male-dominated podcasts are missing is the bridge of understanding. So I came here not to argue you guys or to call you out of your name or to disrespect what anybody's doing, because I felt like the interview I had with him, there were things that he said I didn't agree.
The bridge of understanding she's talking about is woman-splaining the way we think and the way we feel. Tell me that's not what she's trying to say.
I see. I don't know.
You got to listen to the words she said, who she is, and when she's saying this.
Yeah, and so here's why I'm gonna say I don't know, because I don't necessarily know who this woman is, and as you pointed out earlier, she ain't telling us too much of anything about herself. So her intention, if I were there, I would say, pause. Extrapolate on this, like explain this some more, this bridge of understanding. I think this is why when we were talking about earlier, I think the Daily Wrap-Up crew gives women that voice, even if these women, or she'll further say, Myra and them women are dumbass B words, right? It still gives women to vocalize in their own defense.
I get it.
So that's that bridge of understanding I'm assuming she means. But if she can be talking about woman-splaining, and that may be the case. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just
woman-splaining.
I'm not entirely sure.
Is them saying it, their perspective, their way, the blah blah blah. It's more like being able to be a part of the conversation so that she can kind of retort and
control it like she is this. Okay, I give you that.
Thank you.
I give you that, because this ain't no conversation what they having. Yeah, I get you. I give you that.
That's my definition of woman.
With, but I wanted to sit down and hear his point of view. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So for you to say you're not special, well, I'm special to someone, just like you're special to someone, just like he's special to someone. So for you trying to generalize all groups of women, then we would have to take it back to where this even began. Like why you even have this view of women. And like I said, you have a bunch of dumbass bitches on your guys' podcast, and I get it. They don't challenge you, and I know you're a really smart guy, but it's like, I feel like you need to kind of.
What's hilarious is that the majority of the women that you just degraded are your constituents. They're your followers. They're speaking the same verse as you.
That's a good point. That's a great point, actually.
So I'm just finding it odd that you would do that to your people. That is all.
I'm sorry. I just find it odd that you would do that to your people. In my James, what is my man's name from
Angel Jones?
Yes. Do that to your people. I got you. That's so good. But that's a great point, because I ain't even picture that.
Future king.
Like I've watched enough of them to know about Myron and Fresh. Not so much about necessarily the women they've talked to.
First off, are you talking about, hold on, the women that they have relationships with, or the women
on their
show?
I don't know about their
Definitely understand about the women's on their show. The women in their love life, that's a different turn of the page. But as far as the women that they do invite, they usually try to have people that have an actual presence online, Instagram, so on. So they invite them in and blah, blah, blah. There's been one or two that apparently they shot their shot and it didn't turn out so well. But at the same token, like, they're men, so
can't knock them for trying.
I was just about to say, like, aren't men supposed to try? But nonetheless, whatever your flavor of creepy is creepy, and whatever. Anyway, but I'm just loving the hypocritical conversation that she's kind of like, yo, it's just, you got to stand firm on something, you know what I mean? And I haven't heard nothing but sand right now, no rocks. Anyway, I'm ready. Maestro.
Just be honest and show people who you really are. Like, I know that for people to be dragging you guys and say, take this little clip and say that's who you are, that's not true. So that's why I sat down and had this conversation. I'm not here to degrade you. So when you make comments, let me say, but I'm saying when you make comments like, oh yeah, no women are special. So no woman is special.
That's not what he said.
You guys have a whole podcast dedicated how to get women just for sex. That's all you guys are. So you're saying men are just limited to just sex. That's all they care about is sex.
He didn't even say that.
That's all you guys care about. There's
no
emotional need. It's just my dick, sex. I want to hold.
Twisting it to be able to make her point relevant.
She wanted a whole right there.
Honestly, it's just I speak with conviction.
You triggered.
For you to say girls like me, I'm just like, okay, well,
you triggered.
I'm assuming if I go off,
you are harping on one thing and not the actual claim.
I am a gold digger who finessed my
he
boyfriend,
never said that. That's your reputation.
Wanted to marry me and still wanted
now she's
to
explaining her
have more
reputation.
kids with me if I wanted to stay with him. I finessed him.
How does anything that he wants to do with you have anything to do? Matter of fact, you staying with him. What does that have to do with him actually, whether or not he was finessed or not? Because here's my thing, right? Why aren't you there with him?
That's a good question.
Why aren't you still with him?
That's a good question.
If you know what I'm saying, like, you bragging that he still want to mess with you, you bragging that everything is ready for you to just snap your finger and it's right there, underneath your hip where it's supposed to be, right? I just don't see it like that. I just don't see that that's what the reality is. I don't think, I just know that, I know that your confidence level is fabricated.
So,
and that's all I'm gonna say to that.
It's important to add here that I do believe in the whole podcast, she addressed her relationships with bro. Her relationship, and I think it summed down to him being a cheater, which doesn't seem prevalent enough to warrant her bragging at this point. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, because some of you who may have listened to the podcast were like, oh, he addressed this, but the context for the video is all we have, and this is the assumption here. So that actually, Henry,
to brag about, you should be able to overlook cheating in.
Yeah, actually, Henry, it may have come up between a cut, because like I said, there was a cut from the, and it may have come up then, but I'm not entirely sure.
It's just amazing what in the heat of the moment is used as ammunition instead of like, there was no thought ahead of time. Anyway, I'm ready.
And I guess I'm a gold digger, and so all girls like
let's
that.
Bring this back full circle, because you're speaking with a lot of emotion right now, and to be honest,
you can't guess that you're a gold digger. You've told the world that you are a gold digger.
She had a reputation.
You have told the world that you mastered the art of finessing dudes.
She said that in the video.
What?
That's awesome.
Brittany Renner has put out there that she can teach women how to finesse ball players.
She's the shorty that was like, "Garfed your sons from me" or something like that.
Dog.
That is her?
Bro, I think so. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say it just yet.
Okay.
All I'm saying is the fact that you had the gall to say you had the blueprint, and now trying to stand on a soapbox that contradicts that is contradictory. So which is the lie? Is this facade the lie? Was the earlier facade the lie? Are you a magpie? I'm just trying to figure it out.
Holy smokes.
I said
I think that what he did was
men and women, it's a delicate dance between the two genders to get what they want. Correct?
Look,
I said men want sex, women want
play it again?
resources,
He's
attention.
repeating himself.
Oh yeah.
Money, time, whatever
So
it is from
annoying.
men. It changes per girl. Some girls want money, some girls want attention, some girls want time, or some girls want a hot guy, whatever it is.
Girls
But
want money and
there's a
attention.
multivariate requirement from women of what they want. Men typically it's just sex.
brothers want
So
money and attention.
in that regards of
Why is he trying to
intersexual
politic
dynamics
with
for
her,
men and
man?
women, I'm saying
He's
you're not
supposed to
special because
bash.
you're like
This
every
is-
other girl.
the
You want to
previous
get
video was when you're
resource, time,
supposed to
attention, or
politic.
whatever it may be.
Now
commitment
you're supposed to
from
bash.
a man, and a man wants to get sex from you. So when it comes to that,
Clowner.
we're talking about biology of what men want from women. You are not special. You are just like every other girl, just like I'm every other guy. The difference is this: I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm special. I'm Myron Gaines. I can do this and that. We said all the time, city boys up, like we don't sit here and try to make ourselves look special. We're regular guys. We want sex. It is what it is. But women run around and say, I'm special. I'm different. It's like, nah, bro. Y'all don't live in reality a lot of times. You guys say, I deserve that. I deserve this. I'm special. Someone looks at me as special. Like, bro, at the end of the day, you're a woman. I'm a guy. You are playing the game to get what you want out of the relationship. I'm playing the game to get what I want out of the relationship or temporary relationship, whatever it is. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm special. That's what I'm talking about. You can say you're special in other regards, but I'm talking
Pause.
about between men and women that
All I can hear from temporary relationship or whatever
It's feminine.
is escort service. Anyway, go ahead.
is the game. That's how it is.
That's the end
For
of the
real.
video.
That's all I hear. That's the end of the video. Very good.
Hold on.
Thank goodness.
That's video long, but that's
All
the
right.
video's long, but that's
Let's
all
wrap
right.
this up, man.
So the purpose of playing the video for you all, and I apologize for the length of the video, because we're definitely trying to keep like 20 to 25 minutes, but this one, with it being like a 9-minute conversation, and all of the conversation we've been commenting on a lot of the parts, so it's relevant
Thanks
and
for
fresh.
sticking with us, guys.
Right. The point of this is because we've talked about bringing live guests to the situation. And like I said, I know I'm not mentally there yet for this, because I don't tolerate it on the street, so I'm not going to tolerate it in a fixed setting. And this isn't a conversation. Now, I agree with the conversation needed to happen, right? But it should have been mediated to a point to where points are getting across. All we saw for 8 minutes was people deflecting and attacking each other, and no resolution being presented. He said, "Tell us about yourself." She said, "Won't you tell me about it? Won't you do this?" I like high school stuff. He said, "You're not special," and you could argue his delivery was kind of off. But even Brittany Renner, as an experienced influencer, I would say she should have been like, extrapolate, change that, redirect that, because right now this ain't working. Lead the conversation. She controlled the conversation, just not in a healthy way.
Right.
And so that conversation was not productive in the slightest bit, I would argue.
That's why there's two flips to that coin, man. There's two sides to that, as in like, there's the entertainment and then there's the like reality. Reality, we needed none of that. Entertainment value, haha, okay, it's over. Moving right along, because the battle of the sexes are gonna continue. There are a lot of people, a lot of women that think like she does, that take from her tutelage, that follow her example. So for her flippant, irresponsible, I prove me wrong type of approach, I find it dishonorable, but at the same token, I find it completely business savvy, business worthy. Like,
Can't knock a hustle.
Thank you. Do your thing. You just, and I'm glad that I'm not the kind of guy you want.
Shit, I just cussed. I don't even know who she want.
It ain't me. It's no one like me.